His best friend cut the rope and left him for dead. 3 days later, he crawled into camp. 1985, Peruvian Andes. 25-year-old Joe Simpson and his partner Simon Yates just became the first humans to summit the west face of Ciula Grande, 21,000 feet up. And now, they had to get down. A storm rolled in, whiteout. Then Joe stepped onto a small ice cliff. He fell, and when he stood up, his lower leg bone had punched straight through his knee joint. Above 18,000 feet, a broken leg is a death sentence. Both of them knew it, but Simon refused to leave him. He tied them together and started lowering Joe 300 feet at a time. Down, reset, down again, for 9 hours, in the dark, in a blizzard. Then, it went wrong. Simon lowered Joe straight off a cliff he couldn't see. Joe dangled in empty air, couldn't climb the rope, couldn't touch anything, and Simon, above him, felt himself being dragged off the mountain. For over an hour, Simon held on. His seat in the snow started to collapse. Then, he pulled out his knife, and he cut the rope. Joe fell 150 feet into a crevice. He landed on a tiny ice ledge in total darkness. Broken leg, no food, no water, no rope back up. By any logic, this is where he dies. He should have died. He didn't. Instead of trying to climb up, Joe did the unthinkable. He rappelled deeper into the crevice, toward what he thought might be the bottom. 12 hours he lowered himself into black ice, until he saw a single beam of sunlight. He crawled toward it, on his belly, hopping when he had to, and he pulled himself out of the ice. Then he looked ahead. 6 miles of glacier and rock between him and base camp, with a shattered leg. He gave himself a rule: 20 minutes. Move as far as you can in 20 minutes. Don't think about the mountain, just the 20 minutes. For 3 days he crawled, no food, melting ice with his mouth, hallucinating, his skin peeling off from the sun, losing a third of his body weight. At night, the temperature dropped to 20 below. He kept crawling. On the 3rd night, delirious, he smelled something. Human waste from the camp latrine. He followed the smell. He crawled the last 100 yards on his stomach, and he screamed Simon's name into the dark. Simon was inside the tent, packing. They were leaving in the morning. They had already decided Joe was dead. Simon heard the voice, ran out, and there was Joe, a skeleton, frostbitten, barely alive, but alive. 6 surgeries later, Joe walked again. He climbed again. He wrote a book about it, called Touching the Void. His best friend cut the rope, and Joe still made it home. Follow for more stories like these.